I remember the one thing is very vivid is that when the war broke out, how everybody wanted to enlist. There were no exceptions. I was in college at the time, and half my class quit school and enlisted.
It was April 1969. At that time, the federal building, which is currently the City Hall, is the place that we all arrived. We were taken to Buffalo for our selective service exam, and then went to Fort Dix, New Jersey, for basic training. And that was about 8 weeks, and then you stayed a little bit longer, and you got what was called your advanced training. In my case, I was selected to become a combat medic, and so I went down to San Antonio, Texas, near Brooks Army Hospital, and trained there to be a medic.
Well, because of an engineering degree, I was doing war work until 1944, and at that time I was drafted, and that's when I went into the military.
The compelling call, and I say call to duty, this is what I had to do, and so I enlisted in the Marine Corps in the Officers Candidate Program, and in January was on my way to Quantico.
Yeah, I was on a track, as many of my infantry classmates, and I was commissioned infantry, regular Army by choice.
The Marine Corps, there's two phases. The Officers Candidate School is the 12-week boot camp, if you will. Probably some of the most memorable things, obviously, are the physical challenges in terms of the demands that are placed on you, and when you think you have to stop and find out through a little encouragement and a little order that that is not the stopping point, you can go farther. And I think just that whole lesson of what you can accomplish when you're pushed and shoved and incentivized, if you will, to get there.
The hardest was Ranger School, but it is a small unit tactics school that is a no-nonsense training environment. You're put on about a 1,300 calorie a day diet. I lost 34 pounds while I was going through that, and I learned what my pain thresholds were. I learned how much further I could go when the body, the mind had said, go no more. And as a result, and this is where the high payback comes in, Vietnam, besides the fact that I was getting shot at, was a piece of cake.
I smiled a lot, which is something you shouldn't do in the Army. I found some things amusing, and as a result of that, I got in a lot better shape, because the drill sergeant would ask me to drop for 50 push-ups, and you know, I was probably in better shape than when I was playing football.
In the company I was in at that time, I was 24 years old, and I was like the grandfather, because the next one in age was 21. They were all young kids, and boy, when we went out in the field to exercise, they really made me look like a grandfather.
The whole idea is to test you, to make sure you're ready. And in boot camp, there were people from all over the country, all kinds of people, and so everybody had to figure out a way to fit in, to communicate, to form a unit, and to work as one.
I can remember going to 1 week of in-country training where the no-nonsense grabbed a hold of you real quick when the instructor selected somebody in the training audience, pulled a pin on a hand grenade, handed it to him, and told him to hold it as he was doing his instruction. And you know, that was kind of like pay attention, because what I tell you is going to save your life. And then at the end of the instruction, he took the hand grenade, threw it out the window, and it went off.
The Marine Corps has what they call the basic school, which is infantry officers training, which everyone goes through. And so when you finish boot camp, you automatically go to the basic school, which is also right there at Quantico, Virginia. Once again, just speaking to the era and speaking to the honor of serving, every single one of us, the top 10 graduates of the basic school, all selected Vietnam as our duty station.
I was stationed in I Corps, and in Vietnam you were affectionately known as a mountain man, the lowlands guy, or the village guy. and it depended on the tactical area of operations that you worked in. I was in the 23rd Infantry Division, the 196th Light Infantry Brigade, the Charger Brigade, and we were up in a vicinity of Da Nang.
And we were some of the rare few that went over by ship, and so we spent 19 days on board a ship going over to Vietnam.
World War II, everybody was involved. I mean, we had shortage of food, a shortage of gasoline, and on and on. Today, that is not happening. And I don't think that so many are alert of the war as we were then. That's all you thought of was the war.